The Mandalorian, Season 2, Episode 4. The Siege? Yeah, The Siege. Great episode. Let's talk about it. We see a lot of familiar faces in this episode. We see the UFC lady, we see Apollo Creed, and we see the one dude from the first episode that he fucks up in the beginning of the show, like the way beginning of the show, like episode 1, season 1. Oh, and speaking of Carl Weathers, he actually directs this episode, and I think he does a fantastic job. I think the action sequences were the best parts about this episode. You could tell he really loves directing these sequences. I think he does a really good job doing that. But as I was watching this episode, an idea crept in my head that I didn't like at first. I was starting to sort of roll with The Mandalorian in a way that I was fine with its filler episodes. But as the episode was going on, I was like, this is getting repetitive. Mando shows up at a planet. He needs something. To get that thing, he needs to do some sort of heist or some sort of mission, kind of like in a video game, and then he'll get the thing and then go to a next planet, and there's mostly filler rather than episodes that push the plot forward. But thank God I was wrong on that, because in the middle of this siege, we learned that this base they're at isn't like a weapons base, it's actually a lab, and there's a lot of intriguing shit that's going on that really progresses the plot forward for the series. Because thank God for that, because this show is a lot better when we get episodes like this and less filler. And I was fine with chapter 2, which was the spider and frog lady episode. I'm fine with that. But if we got a bunch of those episodes, the show would, get a few notches down. But when they're in this lab, the gears started turning. Were those Snoke clones or Palpatine clones? Which made me think they might be trying to tie some loose ends with the sequel trilogy. Because as much I didn't like The Last Jedi or Rise of Skywalker, still like The Force Awakens. But my main issue with The Force Awakens and the sequel trilogy is the First Order. Like, where the fuck did they come from? They just appear? I didn't really understand that. But from this episode, it seems like the show might move forward to tie some of those loose ends. Because I know in the opening crawl, Force Awakens says the First Order rose from the ashes of the Empire. And I just sort of thought that meant they appeared. But the Mandalorian is showing that the Empire really didn't go away. They kind of were in hiding, and then they rose. Because I think the girl at the end of the episode said something about the New Age or something. And I'm assuming that's what the sequel trilogy is. So I think that's fascinating. And I don't want that to be the point of the show, to be honest. I'd rather be more Mandalorian and more Baby Yoda. But it is an exciting part of the show if they move forward with that. But I'll be honest, there's really not much they can do to fix the whole Palpatine fucking disaster that was in Rise of Skywalker. There's not much they can do about that in really Snoke. But at least if they try and tie these loose ends together, I'm not saying it would fix it for me. It would make it a little bit less messy. So that would be kind of nice, but I hope they stick with the show to be more about Mando, Baby Yoda, that sort of thing. I do like that nice little Easter egg every time an X-Wing pilot or someone from the Republic comes to talk to someone. We get like a little tune of the Resistance theme, the sequel trilogy. I thought that was nice. Nice little Easter eggs. It is interesting to see if some of these pieces start moving forward to where we see the beginning of episode 7. I will admit that would be a little interesting. But like I said, I don't want that to be the point of The Mandalorian moving forward. It'd be a nice little cherry on top. But yeah, at the end of the episode, we finally see Grand Moff Tarkin in person. There's a bunch of like Darth Vader suits or something. I think next episode's going to be a lot of fun. And hopefully the episodes for the rest of the season just kind of progress the plot forward. No filler. Even though I can have fun with the filler episodes, I would much rather have the ones that push the plot forward. And it seems like that's what we're probably going to get. I really enjoyed this episode. It's one of my favorite episodes of the season. I don't know if it's my favorite. The thing about it, I think it was directed well. The sequences are great. Really intriguing stuff when they get to the lab. And I like where the season's going. I'm really excited for next episode. So The Mandalorian, Season 2, Episode 4, The Siege. Let me know what you guys thought of it. Thank you so much for watching. Click here to see more of Dave's Takes.